going on, guys? Quasi here for Quasi Media and Quasi Animations, bringing you another tutorial or video rather. And in this one, we're going to do energy draw. So it's going to draw in the energy, and then it's going to basically blow outward. So I'm gonna go from there. So give me a second of setting something up. All right. So now, let's see here. First thing I want to add is in this one I'm going to do an icosphere. So I want this to be a sphere in itself. So I'm gonna bring a sphere in. Okay, but these two things are gonna play off each other. So the icosphere is gonna go inside. Be similar to the last video I did with something similar like this. I'll call it energy orb, and this will be our particle emitter. So it's going to emit particles. Okay. I think I'm thinking about this. Oh, my bad. I'm thinking about this the wrong way. Okay, I know what I'm doing wrong. All right. So instead of it being smaller, I'll delete that, and I'll bring it back. And it'll be bigger because I want it to draw in, right? All right, so matter of fact, I just tripped out. I should just left it like that. Okay, so I'm going to pair these two. Well, not right now. So this one I'm going to hide and keep the icosphere, right? All right, then add another icosphere, and I'm going to bring that one down. It's going to be our particle, so it's going to be below everything. Alright, so let me just give it a shader. So we're just gonna call it particle, and just give it an emission. Just take it to 120 and make it purple. Alright, so that'll be particle. Okay, and then the emitter is going to just have a transparency on it. So you come down here, go clip, because I want it to completely be gone. All right, so I'll just be like emitter. All right, and then of course the orb is going to have a color, but we'll get to that in a second. All right, so let's go to the particle system. Add one right now. 1,000 parts is fine. Start it at 10 and let it go to 200. So I'll put this at 200 on the end frame. The life right now, I'll leave it like it is, but I'll add a little randomness. I'll come down here to render object. All right, now for field weights, I'm going to bring this to gravity to 0, to nothing. All right, I'm gonna go to velocity and I'll make it 1.2. And then I think that's all I want to do for right now. Yeah, so I'm gonna come in here just for the sake of it and turn on all my little tidbits. Okay, so I think that's it right there. So now the particles come out. I think the particles are too big, too small, so I'll blow them up a little bit. Not too bad right there. Okay, all right, so there's an animation of course on the character, and that's the animation. All right. So we're gonna have him. He's gonna draw it in. It'll draw in the middle, but it's gonna draw inward instead of out. Now the way we're gonna do that is, okay. So what I'll do is just bring this up. All right, and put it towards the center, because I already know that this is. All right, so like right there, right? Let me go above it. Put it a little further in front of him. All right. Okay, so now I already know that these particles need to draw in. Okay, so I'll bring it down a little bit and back. All right. So what we're gonna do is add a force field, and this force field is going to be magnetic. Okay, so I'll bring it to this and grab the magnet. All right, and bring its size down to half meter. All right, I'll Okay, go to physics, and we're gonna give it a draw of 5 and an inflow of 0.5. Now this is just testing it, so you see the particles are still going up. Okay, so that means I need to change the particle gravity, field weights, and now what I'm thinking is like close to 0.5. And I don't want them to drop, so I have to find like that space where they're still floating. All right, so it's like, okay, so let me go to back to the magnet. I'll give it a force of 20. I just want to see an inflow of 3. I just want to see how that works. And now they're just going kind of crazy. Let's take the inflow and take it back to 1. So the particles are just going crazy. All right, make this 10. See what happens. Yeah, there we go. So they're staying close, but I still want them to pull in. That's what I'm doing right there. So pulling it in a little bit. So, all right, in the draw, trying to find that space where to draw in it. I don't know if it'll be this one. Let's put some noise in there. All right. How far did that go up? It may work. Oh, still too sporadic. All right. So that shouldn't be too bad. Let me see if I bring this up to 2 and see what happens. Let's see. I still don't want it to poof out. I want them to come in, so the inflow go to 0. Let's take that. Get rid of that. All right. One more force field, and I want to say it should be vortex. Could be wrong on that one. I'll go with vortex real quick. Bring this one down to 0.5 as well, and see what we get. Okay, so they pull a little, but on this one I'll take this up to 3, and I'm gonna give it an inflow of 1. See what happens. Now they pull down some. See, I don't want that. This is what I don't want. So it's that inflow. And then again, particles are skipping out. Don't want that either. Take this to 0. Still getting some flowing down. So this is it, play and let it play. Yeah, so some still getting loose. Like you saw that one that got loose. Alright. Because what I'll do is with this, it'll automatically start, and then I'll give it a start stop. So by the time he gets there and gets ready to blast it out, then I'll add a force field. Right. See that one? See, that's what we want to try to prevent. So I think I'm gonna add one more force field, and I'm thinking it may be the Leonard Jones. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna bring it down, its size down to 0.5 also, and give it a strength of 3. That's not too bad, because I do want to see how they kind of flop a little bit, even though that one's going up in the air. I think that's the magnet that's doing that. I'll bring the magnet back down to 5. I don't want this drop. Back to the emitter, go down to particles. Still a serious drop, man. I also don't want them floating away. Oof, why did it do that? What the hell was that? That's kind of cool, but I don't want that. Let's go. That shooting up in the air, I want them to go draw in. So it's not really drawing in. I think the best way to make it draw in is to change where they come from. So let's go to the source, and I want it to come from volume and particle faces. 5. jitter amount to full 2. See, it's still kind of, some of them really going through him. They are. All right. The lifetime. Let's bring it down to 30. Okay, so now we're bringing that other force field, which is the force field. All right. Then bring it down to 0.3. And I'm going to time this one based on his release. So right here, boom. So we'll see it. It'll hold out from right there. I'm going to give it a force of 3, and I'm going to go ahead and keyframe it there. I know it's going to blow everything out when he does this, so let's arrow forward to see where the full release is. Boom. So arms all the way back to right there. So this is where we want it to open up at. All right, so I'm gonna take this to 0, keyframe it. Now here, matter of fact, I'm gonna give it a force field of 15, no inflow. All right, so boom. All right, so boom. So now we want to end the particle. So I'm gonna go to the particle it's called, and I want the particles to end at, when they boost out. So I say about 75. Let's see what happens with that. So it's right. Okay, so now that means all these other ones, I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. So for the magnet, where this, so when it starts, so I know I want the particles to start at a different time. So once his hands get right about there is where we're gonna start the particles. So let's go to the particle emitter, and that's at frame 28. So I'll start it at frame 26. Because it'll give it time. It kind of has like a little bit of a lax time on it. So there you go. So it's like, all right. So when I go to the magnet, I'll start the magnet at 25. It'll start at 25. So in front of that, it'll be 0, 1, 2, and then we'll be going until about there, right? So I'll stop the magnet at about, let's go here, about 54. So yeah. All right, same thing with the vortex. I'll click this, but I'm gonna come over here, push back, go to 0. All right, start this one at about 25 also, come back. All right, so now, so when he's, so now I think when that explosion happens, yeah. All right, so now let's look at it in high def. Use some color. My bad. I'll do it from this part. View, right? Okay, so let's turn all this off. Come on, man. All right, and just see it from the front. Well, kind of from the side. Let's go to the other side. All right. So yeah, not too bad. Now the way that he bursts, I think that needs to move a little faster. So I'm gonna push, give me the magnet also. Can I get both of these at the same time? I don't know if it's showing both of them at the same time, so I'll just do one. And then the force field happened like at 52. The particles are lasting too long. I want to say in the particles at 60. So now it's like, right? Yeah, there we go. So let's stop the animation at about 120 and run it back. Not too bad. I'll stop the animation at 90. All right, so now even though that's like that, what I want to do is take the orb and bring it back. Okay, so now since the orb is here, the orb itself is going to get a color. So I'm going to give it a shader. I'm going to just give it a general emission, and that emission will be about 120, and it'll be purple also. Let's go a little bit bluish on it. Okay, so let me bring it down some so to kind of, there we go. All right, so since we can't see the emitter, I'll click the emitter and then the orb. Boom. All right, so now I want the orb to show up as it's drawing energy. So now the orb will show up right about there. So let's see. All right, so go here and go for it. 1, 2. All right, 1, 2. It'll be 0. 1, 2. Wham. So here I want it to stay about the same, and then it'll just suddenly get big. So I'll start to blow it out. So, right, let's turn this on. So this is why I had to keep going to it. All right, so I want this to get bigger, and then just sort of get extremely big, and then like 1, 2 disappear. All right, so let's see what it looks like. I think that's too long, so it should be like wham. Yeah, so here this will get like this, and then I'll delete this one and bring this one out. So it's like, yeah, that's still not short. That's still too long. Just finding it. I don't think that's big enough. All right, there we go. And it feels slow. Yeah, I mean, the thing is all of this could be paired together and move. So when I come into here, and we don't have any, of course that's down there. I don't even need that to show up. So particle, turn it off. I'll add, I'll just call it that. And then I'll add a sun. I'll add a sun. Matter of fact, go back to here. And then do that. All right. And with that sun, I'll give it a potency of 4. Let's take it to 6. Give it and then there we go. So now when we see him do his thing, get a little light on him. Yeah, that's not too bad. I like how it kind of spins at the top, but I want it to be more like right here. I want it to be further down, but nonetheless, best way that I figure you could do it. I mean, I believe it could also be done. Let's test that theory. So I'll keep everything like it is, but I'll create a bigger emitter. So let me go back here, cut everything back on, create a larger emitter, and then when I turn everything back off, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, so it's like all of it getting drawn in, right? So what I'm thinking is with the magnet is on when it goes to draw, it instantly draws at like 20. So that means it has to draw the same here. So it's like, and the thing is the bigger, it seems like the larger it is, the more it's repelling. I'll take it back to 5. Alright, and then I'll do this one back to 5, but we're going to crank the inflow up to about 12 because I want to see if that'll work. Yeah, you see how that worked? Yeah, I like that. So let's see, let me take the inflow to like 60. I just want to see how it works. I like that. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. So what if I bring it in? Let's just test it. Let's take this to 10, the strength to 10. Because I want to see if it's going to act like it did a second ago. I feel like it still may, but nonetheless, try it anyway. And the noise, I feel like the noise may be too loud. I'll take it back to 0. See it with just a default play. Yeah, that's nice. Yep, that's kind of what I want right there. That's what I want. Like right here where it just draws it in and it just blows it out. But that also means I want to crank up the turbulence. I'm sorry, the vortex. I'll crank it up to 6. Let's crank it to 6. Alright, let's go back to the beginning. See what we get. Ooh, okay. Even though I kind of don't like that. So I'm going to bring this back to 3. Excuse me. Even though I wanted to draw in way faster back on the magnet, I wanted to draw in so much faster. If I give it an inflow of 60, how would that work? It's almost like it didn't want to work. That's what it looks like, because the inflow is not. The inflow doesn't go over 10. Okay, never mind. So the inflow won't go over 10. Gotcha. Let me get this noise of 1 again. See what happens. Ooh, that looks real nice from above. Yeah. Alright, well, there's the effect. So you can test that out, try that out or whatnot, and see what happens. But nonetheless, catch you guys later. Nothing but love.